Hi, Joshua. It's good to see you.
Hi, nice to see you.
Well, I have a long French name, so I just want to say right up front, feel free to call me Andie. I go by Andie to make it simple.
Thank you. It's a
Um,
relief. I was getting
yes,
worried.
yes, don't be worried. Andie is good. Did you have any issues getting on the link?
No, it was fine. Yeah,
And you can hear me clearly.
loud and clear. Thank you.
Okay, I hear you clearly as well. So this is the first time that we meet. I'm grateful that you're here. And so what we're going to do today, we'll get to know each other a little bit. I'd like to hear from you about what compelled you to come and consult with me today. And by the end of our session, we'll establish a few goals together that we can work towards in the following sessions. Does that work for you?
Sounds good. Yeah, this is a
Yeah.
good time.
So why don't you start? The floor is yours. What brought you in today?
Yeah, I mean it's hard to know where to start, but I think the start of it really kind of comes from the stress of being the age that I am and where I'm at right now. I think I've just kind of been feeling like I'm like behind everyone else that should be compared to other people around this age of, being I'm 35 and I see most people are well established in their careers, they have kids and they're just living maybe not the life, but they're living a life that's worth, pursuing and continuing. And I'm here, I don't really have a partner. Yeah, I have a job, but I'm not really happy in it. And I just kind of feel like I'm just drifting and going all over the place and not really having a set place to go. And it's something I really fear about because it's something that I've seen in my parents, and I feel like I'm just becoming like a copy of them. And I don't know, it's
Mm,
it's made me spiral just thinking about it because yeah, just seeing how it impacts my family and then seeing it reflect in my life, it's like it feels like I'm kind of destined to be here. And I don't know. I don't know how to internalize that. Yeah.
wow. Okay. So thank you for sharing. So I'm hearing you say that you feel dissatisfied with where you're at. And when you're comparing yourself, you used the word compare earlier. Yeah, there's dissatisfaction. You use the word spiraling. When you think about it, when you think about where your parents are at, it makes you feel like you're spiraling. Can you describe that to me? What does that feel like, spiraling?
It feels like I'm trapped, like spiraling in a sense of like I'm feeling less hope. And so that hopelessness, I feel like I'm really diving into it, and not really seeing a way out of it. Yeah.
So stuck and hopeless. Those are some big emotions to feel. So I heard you say there's a few different aspects where you feel dissatisfied in your career, and the relational realm, and also as you're considering your parents and where they're at.
Hmm.
Um, could you share with me regarding your career? Let's just maybe break them down a little
Sure.
bit. Regarding
Yeah.
your career, what do you find dissatisfying about your career?
I feel like I just kind of trickled into it. I went into university because, well, to give you some backstory, I didn't really take school very seriously growing up. Uh, and a counselor of mine told me, well, you should because you're gonna have a really hard time in life if you don't. And I guess that was
Mhm.
just a wake-up call of like, well, I don't want to be homeless. Like I want to do something, but I never really thought about what I wanted to do. It was more out of a place of necessity. And
Mhm.
that's the same with like my parents is they're just in under survival. And so I think I'm in that same boat. And so I worked hard in my last 2 years of high school to get to just university. I accepted the first university program that was there. And so there was really no thought. It's like, okay, I got accepted. So I'm just going to go and accept it and go right away. So I went into psychology. And, I did psychology because I saw that so many people liked it. And with everyone liking it, I'm like, oh, well, then maybe I'll just eventually like it. I didn't. Like, it was okay. But, since that was my program, I have to find something related to it. So I'm working at a crisis line, a suicide crisis line. And, most people will think that the only people that work there are someone who are very passionate about it, but I kind of
Mhm.
just trickled in and it feels weird to have to support people in that way and really show that compassion when I'm not really fully there, and it makes it very hard that I don't have that passion. And it's hard to not feel guilty about something, especially a work like that, because you're dealing with people. Like it feels like I'm just doing a disservice to everyone else, and I'm not supposed to feel dissatisfied, but that's just kind of how I feel. And it's hard to really tell anybody about it because I just feel like a bad person that I'm taking a job that is so serious and I'm not taking it to heart. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Um, you started by saying you went to college and you didn't consider what you actually wanted. You just took
Yeah.
kind of the first thing that came your way. So if you had to do it differently, and if you actually asked yourself that question, what do I want career-wise? What would that look like?
Honestly, I don't know. I've never really given my thoughts to that. I've never really thought about it. I think that's why it was so easy for me to just do it in the first place and go to, do psychology. I just have never really given myself the time to think about it, and nothing has really piqued my interest. And, my default was to not care. I didn't even go to school for half the time. The only reason I decided to like quote unquote care is I wanted to at least survive, right? So I never really thought about it that way. Maybe that's just the way I am and how my family is. Like we don't really think about those things, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you shared that it seems to be a pattern that you've seen in your parents' life. So how does that pattern look in your parents' life?
Well, there were they immigrated here, and it was out of a place of there being war in their country, and so they came here just out of necessity, right? And so they worked hard, but they didn't really have like a great paying job. That my dad has had the same job since coming here, and he hates it. He hates his job. But he's doing it because he has to. He's never left or decided to do anything else, but it was a place of security, and he felt like leaving would just mean that it would be a place of insecurity, right? And so I've grown up thinking that that was a good idea. Like no one wants to make such a huge risk and risk their family. And this is just life, right? You just kind of have to work and survive. Same with my mother. Mother's kind of same situation, never changed jobs. So yeah, I don't know if I answered the question, but yeah, that's the backstory.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing more about your family life. Now, were you born in your parents' country of origin or were you born here in Canada?
No, I was born here.
Okay. So you've seen your parents go through like a very important life transition. Well, you haven't seen
Well, I
them, but
haven't
you
seen
know
it.
that's in your
Yeah.
history. In your history, your
Yeah.
parents went through a massive transition. What I'm hearing you say, they've settled into careers that they don't enjoy,
No.
but have
Yeah.
sort of stayed for probably a desire for stability, even
Yeah.
if it's no fun. But now you find yourself, what I'm hearing you say is like there is, in a sense, like you have an education, you have a job, there's a stability, but you find no satisfaction. So
No.
it seems like there's a desire to break out of that mold. Am I hearing
You're
you?
right. You're right to say that there's a desire to break out of it. It's just that I never have gotten the chance to think about what I really want. And I don't know why. Like I don't like yes, I've had that thought like I think I'm seeing the problems here in my family, but
Mm,
I've never gone too far to then make the steps to think about a better way of doing things. It's weird.
mm. Well, I'd like to ask you also about your friends. Earlier, you talked about when I see other people and they just seem to be ahead in life,
Yeah.
but you've gotten stuck somehow. Can you share with me what you see in your friend's life that you would desire for yourself?
Well, they're all married. They're all married. They have their kids, and I don't see them being depressed in their workplace like that. I grew up with them in university and high school, and those were passions that they've had from the very beginning. Like you can tell, they had glee in their eyes when they were pursuing it, and they had like a drive to get there. Versus me, like yeah, like my drive was just to pass and to not even just pass, but to do well, but not because I liked it. I think I noticed that my pursuit was way more depressing than their pursuit. Like they had a vibrato in them. I don't know if that's the right word, but they really wanted to do it. And it was because they cared and really wanted to get there. And for me, it was almost just out of a place of anxiety and fear. And so I guess I'm sometimes jealous that they have such a strong will to get there and I don't.
Mm, I hear you. Hear you. So the first thing you said when I said, when you're looking at your friend's life, what do you desire for yourself? You said, well, they're married. Is
Right.
that something that you desire for yourself?
I do. Is I guess I just also have a little bit of a low self of confidence because of where I'm at. And so I think I almost self-sabotage. I don't really take the steps to have a relationship. Like I've had moments, but never really got there.
Mhm. Can you share more about what could be in the way of you entering into a relationship with someone?
I think it's the confidence, and that confidence comes from doing something that I enjoy, I think, and being happy in the
Mhm.
life that I create, so that I can welcome someone else into that. Right now, it just feels like I'm welcoming someone into this depressing world, and don't really want to do that.
Yeah. Okay. So what I've gathered so far in our conversation is that you're dissatisfied with your career, you're dissatisfied with maybe your relationship status, and you would like to see movement. I
Yeah,
think you're here because I'm hearing you say that you want to see movement. You see a pattern in your parents' life of what it could look like if there is no change, correct?
right.
So as we meet together moving forward, um, I think perhaps some of the things we can look at, you said I lack confidence, I'm perhaps self-sabotaging, which is an obstacle to relationship. I've also heard you say, I have not asked myself, what do I want for a career? So those are
Mm.
things I'd love to explore with you. How can we set those themes into goals?
I think the key goal for me is to work towards maybe a rediscovery as to why I'm not moving forward in creating a place that I want, and maybe some ways that I can do that. I think that that's really the main thing is creating a place that I can be confident in, and I think everything else will start to kind of fit into play after that.
Mm. I think those are some good goals, exploring why you're where you're
Yeah,
at, right? What's in the way, and what would you like? What do you want for yourself? And how can we move forward in getting there? Um,
exactly.
I'd love to explore these goals with you. Could we meet again next week at this time and connect again over these goals?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay, thank you for coming in, Joshua. I really enjoy getting to know you.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you. You take care.
Okay.